Hey, welcome back to Afternoon Woodworks. I wanted to share with you another completion of a project. Done right in time for Christmas. Finished this Christmas Eve, tucked it under the tree, and gave it out on Christmas Day. So this is a serving tray. I've graduated from cutting boards to serving trays. It's a nice little step up, I guess. I noticed this as I was flying and saw this in Wood Magazine, November this year, 2019. So you can see here, this just kind of popped. I was really excited when I saw it, read the article. It's called Line and Berry, and I guess it's a popular technique from the 1800s in Chester County, Pennsylvania. So a little bit of tradition in this one. Now they did it in walnut base with maple and I think some cherry, etc. I did it on mahogany. I wanted to lighten up. I'd been working with walnut quite a bit, so I did it on mahogany. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how I did it and then give you a couple tips if you want to do this. Overall, it's a pretty easy project. Obviously, I just glued up 3 blanks here, or 3 pieces of wood, made a blank, planed it, got it nice and smooth. Then I moved into the design here. Now, I use a CNC machine, okay? The article talks about how you use a compass to draw the points, to use a handheld router, with a pivot pin, and I'm sure that works just fine. But I have the CNC machine right there, and that's a Shaper Origin, which is a handheld CNC machine, not a traditional one. Now, how did I get that design though? Because this is just a picture on a magazine. I sent that picture into Shaper Assist, which is a service that Shaper provides, where they will design it for you. If you don't want to spend time learning CAD, Illustrator, which I don't. I want to be in the shop, not in front of the computer. They'll do it for you. Now, it's not cheap. It is what it is, though. And I'd rather be in the shop doing it. So they gave me the design. Once I had this blank, I found the center point, dropped my design onto it, and was able to route. Now, this is a 1/16 of an inch line, 1/16 of an inch deep. Okay, couple tips here. Whether you're using a CNC or you're doing the handheld router with the compass design, don't route all these right away. Route 1 and drop in, glue in the stringing as they call it. Let that dry, sand it flush, and then you can route the next one. And as you're routing that, you're making a perfect intersection between the other pieces, as opposed to cutting all these individual pieces, which would be a nightmare, would not look as good. Go one at a time, maybe 2 if you can figure it out. 2 I think I did at a time. There's a total of 18 pieces of what they call stringing. So what is stringing? How do you create that? Because those are very thin pieces of wood. Well, I cut about a 3/32 off the table saw. And then I took it to, you can see the orange there, the rigid orbital sander, and you just do the spindle, not the belt, the spindle. And you clamp a fence into it, and you run that piece of stringing between the fence. So it's just a piece of maple that I clamped. You run that between the spindle and that fence. You bring that, tap it in, get it real small, run that piece through it, do a test fit, see if it fits, bring it in a little bit, use your calipers, etc. And you can make that stringing fairly easy. It's very thin. I then took that 3/4 inch stringing and carefully, because it's a little tricky, on the bandsaw, rip that into about 1/8 inch pieces that I could then insert here. Glue that in, and then let it set, let it dry, come back, sand that flush, and move on and on and on and on. Okay, so same thing with the large circles and the band around the edges here. Okay, so pretty simple. The berries, as it's called, that was just produced on the CNC again. And you can see here, they're overlapping. Let me get close here. So you can see that yellow heart is got a full circle. The purple heart, the purple heart is a single circle. I'm trying to figure out. One berry is a full circle. One berry's got one little divot out of it. And the third berry has 2 divots, and they all kind of fit together. Same type of thing. Put some wood glue in there, fit them in, tap them, let it dry, sand that flush, okay? And then you can see the edge technique here. I forget what that's called. It's not scalloped because those are potatoes. Scalloped sides? I don't know what you call it, but little nice design. This is a 1/2 inch, okay? And then this is 3/4. Now the design in the Wood Magazine called this to be 3/16. I thought that was just too thin. They called this to be 5/8. I moved that down to a 1/2, moved this to 3/8, and it just has a nice, delicate yet substantial feeling. It's not 3/4, it's not heavy. It's just a nice kind of middle ground. Finished it in tung oil, 2 coats of tung oil, steel wool between coats. I might put a 3rd on, and then finalized it with my initials and date or year. So very simple process. When you do the glue up, watch your corners, get those nice and tight, and then when you sand, just hit those a little bit. It'll bring them together, and you'll have a fairly nice corner as well. So something different. People at Christmas wowed over it because of the inlay. That is the attraction here, and it definitely pops in person. So I hope this inspired you to get out in the shop, and Happy New Year to you.